1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So that is a line by Hristo Vitchev in the style of Pat Metheny, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about Mathenisms. Now, Hristo Vitchev has gone into the things that make Metheny sound like Metheny in a lot of detail. I'll put up some of the book covers right here. So we're going to delve into one of the lines that he has that you can get for free. So I'll put a link in the description for that. And we're going to analyze it a little bit and also give you guys some ways of getting a discount on his material because it's really great. I've learned a ton from him and I'm sure you guys will too. So let's dive into this line. So this is lines you've heard and it's, as you can see, across the entire neck. And it really gets into some of the key elements that makes a Metheny line sound like Metheny. We'll talk about it from a note perspective, from what he's actually doing with the harmony, and then also on an articulation and picking side, because that, at least for me, was the most different from how I normally play. All right, so the first part of this line, before it moves up into the fifth position, we're basing this really around this like A minor sound. You can think about like A minor 7, you'll see a lot of those A minor 7 arpeggios in here, or also like the A minor pentatonic. And the first thing we'll dig into with this Mathenism is the way Metheny will approach these triads. So he'll chromatically approach certain notes from the arpeggio or from the triad. So if we look at the first part of this line, we're going into the fifth by a half step from underneath, and then the minor 7th from above, right? And then the arpeggio, right? This is a classic Metheny way of playing a certain lick. So we have this, I call this the hammer-on out of nowhere, because you have these hammer-ons where you're not picking from before. So on the 4th string, and it's what gives Metheny that like kind of like slip and slide feel, right? Other guitarists like Benson or Pat Martino will pick those. You'll hear that same lick, but they'll pick it instead of where it almost becomes a ghost note with Pat Metheny. All right, so that's that first part. These pull-offs. You have this again where he's all these little slip and slide half steps to get into that A, right? So the minor 3rd from above, and then just down the arpeggio. So that's that first part of the line. Moving on to the second part, we have, right, so we got those hammer-ons and pull-offs. Again, another chromatic approach in the 5th. And then we do this pull-off. This is kind of a big one to reach from the 9th to the 5th. So you have, going from before, we G sharp to A, and then sliding up to that D. That transitions us into now the 7th position. And again, we have a bunch of these. If you notice, these are all, for the most part, grouped in 2-note groups. So you have 2 notes as a 1 pick and pull off, pick, slide, pick, pull off, pick, slide, pick, pull off, pick, pull off, pick, pull off. So like, creates a certain feel to it, and it's also what lets Metheny play these lines really fast without doing all alternate picking. Almost every other note is either a pull-off, hammer-on, or a slide. even from the very beginning of what we were doing. Pick, pull off, pick, hammer on, pick, pull off, pick, pull off, pick, slide, pick, pull off, hammer on, pick, pick. You could hammer on, pull off, pick, slide, pick, pull off, pick, slide, pick, pull off, right? So right, and that gets us to that last part. And then we have one more part of this line, and that's starting on around this 10th fret with that pull off. Another hammer on out of nowhere to kind of target that G sharp. For me, I have a tendency to want to pick those instead of hammering them on out of nowhere, which is fine, but it's not going to be stylistically accurate to the way Metheny would approach it. So if you're trying to get that more of that Metheny sound, you want to try and hammer on out of nowhere. And then we have, again, more hammer-ons out of nowhere. Let me take a second to talk about that, since that's the similar kind of lick to what we had here. And what I would do with this is think, okay, so if I'm trying to play over that A minor sound, I can do that lick where it starts on the 9th and then ends on the 5th, or on the 5th and ends on the root, right? So you have like, all right, so after that lick, we get, and this is another really cool one, we can target, right? So going from the beginning of this line, we have, instead of going to E, we go up to A to end it. So one more time. These ones too are a hammer on out of nowhere. Hammer on, right? So you have, and I like taking this phrase anytime I'm trying to target one of these notes. So if I was trying to target G here, I'd start on E, right? Or if I'm trying to target the C, there's a lot of different phrases within this long line that you can really get some vocab out of. The ones that I would take is thinking about how to approach notes in the triad chromatically, so, and doing it with slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs. This lick where we do that chromatic descent with the hammer-on out of nowhere, right? And then also this one where we have any of that. Right? So if I wanted to move this, say, to D minor and play this over a D minor type sound, and I'm taking this first lick, let's do the first one. Right? I need to either start on the 9th or the 5th. Right? So my 9th is actually the same one as up here. And my 5th, I would start it, let's see, where's a good 5th part? Right here. And you can even string them together. So if we did the 9th one, all right, there's a lot of material in here. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is check out Hristo Vitchev's books. Again, I'll put the links below, and you guys get 10% off if you use the code JazzMemesFam, right? And now this only applies to the Pat Metheny books. If you guys want to get any other books, let me know, and maybe I can work out another deal with him. But for right now, this is to get you into the Pat Methenyisms, some of his lines you've heard. And he also has a really great new one. If you guys have seen the recent Pat Metheny interview with Rick Beato, talking about the bridge part of James. So he has another lines you've heard, just kind of similar to this, like what you just have been checking out, but over the bridge part for James. Another great song, probably my favorite Pat Metheny tune. All right, so you guys can check out those below. Remember, you get 10% off with the code JazzMemesFam, all lowercase. And I will see you guys in the next one. Let's practice this line, man. All right, 270. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $280. $290. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. 300. Too sloppy. I'll leave that line for Hristo.